There's an epidemic here on the Sun Coast you might not be aware of, and it's an alarming one. The Insurance Research Council reports that 27% of drivers on Florida roadways are uninsured, and an even greater number of drivers are underinsured. So to help us understand what we can do to protect ourselves, it's time for Injuries Are Personal, sponsored by Carl Reynolds Law, and I am here with attorney Carl Reynolds. Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I don't want to drive around worrying about everybody else, but how can it impact me if I am hit by one of these either under or uninsured drivers?
Well, as you indicated, the research shows that 27% of drivers don't have any insurance at all. And of the ones that do have insurance, at least a third in Florida, according to my estimation, has no bodily injury coverage. So you have a 50-50 shot of being hit by someone who has no insurance that compensates you for your injuries and for your medical bills.
Now, I'd like to think that I have good insurance. Will that keep me safe enough even if somebody hits me that isn't covered? Doesn't my insurance help me?
It depends on your coverage. To be compliant with the law, all you have to carry is what's called personal injury protection coverage. We shorten it and we call it PIP. And property damage. PIP pays for your own medical bills, but only up to $10,000 and only at 80%. And usually you can carry the deductible up to $1,000 on that. Property damage only pays for damage done to other cars when you're at fault. So there is no compensation there for pain and suffering, for bills above $10,000 for that 20% not covered by PIP.
So that's what I'm counting on that other insurance for, and if they don't have it, then financially I could have some problems.
Unless you carry what's called uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. We
Okay,
shorten it in the industry, we call it UM.
Yeah, explain that to me. So I can have a type of coverage that protects me if someone uninsured hits me.
Correct.
All right, do I have to ask for this specifically, by the way?
You do, because most agencies or insurance companies won't offer it because there's not a high markup for it. It's really not that expensive when you look at the overall charges for your insurance coverage. You have to carry bodily injury coverage, which protects other people. But with that bodily injury coverage, you're entitled to uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage in an amount equal to what you buy in bodily injury coverage.
Okay, now when we're looking at coverage, it's always so confusing. In your mind, what should we be covering? What should we make sure is in our policy each and every time?
Well, sure. First, you have what's compliant with the law. With the law, you have to carry PIP coverage and property damage coverage. Okay? PIP is set at $10,000. That's what's required, and property damage has to be a minimum of $10,000. After that, then you have coverage that can protect you in the event you're hit by someone who has no insurance or is underinsured. And that's where you get the bodily injury and uninsured motorist coverage.
Okay.
Bodily injury covers your liability if you hurt someone else, and uninsured motorist coverage supplements any coverage that's available to from the person that hit you. So it protects you in the event you're hit by someone who has no insurance or inadequate insurance. You can also carry collision coverage, comprehensive coverage, that sort of thing.
Is there a financial minimum when it comes to things like bodily injury, uninsured motorists that we should have?
You probably ought to get as much as you can afford. I understand it's a price-sensitive topic, but I've seen too many stories of people come into me with catastrophic injuries, and there's either no insurance or only a $10,000 policy, and a trip to the hospital is going to blow that out of the water. So as much as you can afford, most insurance companies offer it in increments of $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, $500,000, $1 million.
I suspect that many of us are not insured properly, not because we don't want to be, but maybe because we haven't known how to be. Is that something that we can come in and get analyzed with you?
Absolutely. We offer that free of charge. We'll be happy to analyze your policy, your family's policy, your best friend's policy, anybody's policies. We'll be happy to go over it with you and talk about what coverage you have, because most people don't understand what do I have and what you might want to get in order to protect yourself and your family in the event you're an unfortunate victim of a car accident.
And it's such a hard topic because, you know, you look at the insurance bill, which is not pretty here in Florida, and you think, gosh, I want to get this as economically, you know, better for my family as possible until you need it. And then you want to make sure you have what you need. So I think it's good that we all try to understand.
And part of the problem is most people are buying their policies online now without the help of an agent, so they don't know what they're getting. They're just going with price, and they may not be protecting themselves because they're not getting any advice. Yeah,
it's an important thing to be protected with, that's for sure. All right, thank you for the lesson.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. For more information and to find out everything you can from Carl Reynolds Law, you can go to their website, injuriesarepersonal.com.